Hi, everyone. I don't know if, can you hear me? Thank you. Thank you, Shy. You know, I had to get a little zhuzhed up, girl. Had to get a little zhuzhed up and feel good about it. How's everyone doing tonight? You guys okay? Let me just double check. Aw, you are so sweet, girl. Miss Shabu. Okay. Did she get that? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you guys made it in. Share the video, share, because it's going to be a really informative video. For some of you, it may not be so informative. You may already know all the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. For those of you who don't know about it, well, this is your chance to learn. I know we've got a lot of new people submitting videos because everything with COVID and all of that stuff happening, things have changed, right? So things have changed in how we approach singing, how we approach competitions, how we approach just general life. So in light of that, we've come up with a little hopefully quick tutorial to help you navigate submitting videos. And it doesn't have to be just for like a karaoke competition or a hometown competition. It can be for like TV shows and things like that, and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna get into all of that. Let me make sure. Let me see if my girl's in here yet. She's not. Hey, Liz. Shy, I see you, girl. Hang in there. Yes. I'm glad you're on here, though. Just smile, just smile, just smile, just smile for me. It's better than any word I ever heard. All right. So, by the way, while we're doing all this talking, if at any point you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm also going to post the link to my YouTube page as well that I'm trying to monitor. So I'm going to try to monitor it here. And I'm going to be talking. I'm trying to fix my hair here. I'm going to be I'm not going to do most of the talking. I'm going to let Miriam do that. But she doesn't seem to be logged in yet. I wonder if she's having issues. Hold on one second for me, guys. Hi, Kyle. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Hector. Hi, William. If you're just joining the live, throw a heart up. Throw a heart up. Let me see you. Let me make sure she's got this. Hey. I see the hearts. I see the hearts. Yay. So for those of you just joining the live, my name is Michael White. If you don't know who I am, well, that's me, and welcome. So what this is going to be a little bit of an informative, there she is, an informative video that's going to kind of help those who are interested in submitting videos and posting videos for competitions and stuff, things like that. All right, she is finally here, guys. I want you to do me a favor and make the biggest noise you can make from wherever you're sitting, in front of whatever TV or bag of chips or whatever. Make some noise for the one, the only, Miriam Kim, everyone.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
We're doing great. I'm so glad you're here. Hold on, let me turn myself down because, girl, you are loud in my ears, and it's my fault because I have myself way up too high. There we go.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
See my ratchet background?
I do.
That's the best you get in 10 minutes. That's what you get.
You like mine?
Of course you have the glitter, you overachiever. I love
it. Oh my goodness. Hey. This is all about videos, and we want to make sure it looks good. Everything is set up right and everything. So I'm over here like trying to make sure I'm situated. You like my owls?
I do. Come on, owls. Come through, owls. Hoo-hoo. Yes.
Right. Welcome everybody to our little discussion about videos, video submission competitions. I've been seeing a lot of that, especially with COVID-19 happening, and we can't get together in your usual qualifiers at your local bars, and so a lot of these competitions, even with the national TV shows, have all gone video.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to make sure that if you are considering competing in karaoke competitions, that you're putting out your best foot forward. So we figured we'd get together today and discuss some stuff.
Yeah, we just decided it's like,
already,
what, 6 hours ago, whatever.
Yeah, it was kind of last minute, but I've just been watching some of these videos, and I had some thoughts and on how to make things better for you, and give you the best shot at moving forward to the next round. So, so I don't know. Should I introduce who I am? A lot of people probably don't know who I am.
Well, let me get that. Let me get that going for you. Hold on. And all right. Well, here we go. And here you go.
All right, y'all. I don't know if you're able to come in and comment. Michael, can you see the comments?
I can. I'm going to be reading the comments. I'll take myself out of this, and
just wanting to make sure that if anyone is chatting in or whatnot, that they can actually see. I've got like 2 monitors going on. Hold on a second. Just want to make sure that we can.
I'll be monitoring that for you.
Okay.
Hey, Francisco. Hey, you guys. I'll be watching the comments while Miriam's talking and trying to give questions as soon as you guys ask. Okay. Don't forget, share this video, because the more information it is, the better for everyone involved. I don't care who you are. It can be for a karaoke competition, for a world competition, for a national TV competition. It doesn't matter. So you definitely don't want to miss out on all these little bits of wisdoms and tips and tricks that Miriam's going to be talking to you about. All right, I'm out of here.
Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Miriam Kim. I am a multiple award-winning karaoke champion, I guess you could say. I have participated in numerous karaoke competitions, and I've won my fair share of them, including video competitions. So I figured, why not come on? So my biggest accomplishment, I guess I could say, is that I was the 2014 KWC National Champion and the World Silver Medalist. I was also the first place video champion of WKT in 2018. I did Talent Quest and was the regional finals first place winner. Let's see. We had the World Series of Karaoke first place winner. Did Karaoke Fest here in my state, which is our national, or not national, our annual competition that goes on. And I won that in 2013 and 2015. So I started singing karaoke back in 2007, I think it was. And I won my first competition in 2009. And that was the McGowan contest. So lots of competitions. I know some of you probably use it also as like a secondary form of income sometimes, and that's what I ended up doing. I was a professional karaoke competitor, I guess you could say, because I was only getting child support, so I had to make additional money. So I figured, why not use my voice for something, right? Little did I know that would actually end up leading me into my business, and I am a vocal coach with Go for the Gold Vocal Coaching. and we specifically cater to karaoke competitors. And Michael actually is one of my students. And yes, so he is definitely, he was my first student and my success story. Again, he made it super, super easy. So we just wanted to come on here and just help you guys out. So before I do that, let's talk about Michael.
Well, I just wanted, hi everybody, hi. For those of you who don't know, hi. My name is Michael White. I am Miriam Kim's first vocal student for Going for the Gold, and I'm so happy I made the choice to get a vocal coach and get someone that's easy going and easy to learn from as Miriam Kim. So a little bit about me. I am the 2019 national champion for KWC, and I'm a 2019 world finalist. I actually made it to the finals in Tokyo, Japan, and placed fifth. And I've won regionals twice here for Talent Quest. I've won Charlotte Idol back in 2013, I think it was. I might be wrong. I've won local competitions here in Florida. I've been singing since the age of 6. I started karaoke though a lot earlier in my life. I started karaoke when I was 15 and have been singing ever since. I recently was on an episode of America's Got Talent on NBC. I auditioned for Simon Cowell and Howie Mandel and Sofia Vergara and those guys, and had a great time, and it was surreal. But it was a really fun experience. And I'm excited to be here with you guys, and I'm excited that we're here to share this information, and whatever little bit of information I got, I'll be more than happy to share. But I really wanted you guys to meet Miriam, and I wanted Miriam to be able to share the information with you as well. Okay, so Miriam, are you ready?
We're ready.
All right, go ahead, Mama. You take it away.
All right. So when it comes to video competitions, you have to think of 2 separate categories, and then there's some subcategories involved, okay? So the first one is your setup, and of course that's your equipment and what you'll be using. And we'll go more, I'll have Michael go more in depth about how to go ahead and set all of those things up. But it's very important because, you know, I've watched some videos and I've judged some videos, and what is very jarring for a judge, because you have to understand, you're not in a venue, you're not in a place where you can feed off the vibes of the energy in that room. And so you have to really kind of come across in the video the same kind of energy, okay? And it's really, really hard to do. But the main thing is, if you don't have a great video quality, it's already deterring from engaging your audience, engaging your judges. So it's very important that we look at setup first, okay? And then in the latter half of this presentation, we're just gonna go ahead and talk about performance and how you present yourself in the video. So there's 2 parts to it. There's the back end of it, and then there's the front end of it. So we'll go ahead and talk about that. Okay, so first, as far as setup is concerned, there are 3 key things that you need, okay? The 3 key things are, you need a recording device of some sort, okay? Whether that is a DSLR camera, a video camera, a camcorder, an iPhone, your Android phone, your Google Pixel phone, or a tablet, something to record you, okay? That is very, very important to have. Second thing you're gonna need is lighting. You need to make sure that you're properly lit, okay? And Michael will go into detail about that, but you'll need lighting, okay? And then the third thing is making sure that your audio balance is proper, because there's nothing worse than listening to garbliness or distortion happening because it wasn't balanced correctly, okay? So Michael, take it away as far as some more intimate things.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to juggle too many different screens. Okay. Hi. All right. So the first thing you want to talk about when you're talking about video of any kind, and running video of any kind is there's two different things you really want to focus on when you're considering video. You want to think about what it is you're going to present, right? So if you're presenting something static, then you don't really need a high resolution per se because it's going to be a non-moving image. However, if you're singing, you're moving. Chances are your mouth is moving, your body's moving. Therefore, you need a decent resolution. What do I mean by resolution? Well, I mean, and without getting too deep into the weeds, we can talk about frames per second. We can talk about bit rate. We can talk about all of that. All you really need to focus on is that it just needs to be a cell phone with a good signal. It needs to be a laptop if you have one, plugged into some sort of internet service if you can, if you're going to live stream it. If you're not going to live stream it, most laptops and most cell phones will already have built-in recording software, but you can always download software as well. You can download free software that allows you to record yourself singing, and you can always play that back, or you can share that to social platforms. So that's one way to get you in. Another really fun way is there's places like Smule that provide you video and audio, and allow you to do that. Be careful with those kind of apps though, because those kinds of apps, they really tempt you with a lot of add-ons and reverbs and those kind of things, which can really distort your voice. And although it may sound great to you in your ears and the headphones, when you share it with someone or on a social media platform, it can really come across garbled or distant, or you may sound way in the back. And we'll get more into audio in just a second. But right now, focusing on video, the first thing you want to look at is a video camera. You want to look at, and it can be any model, it doesn't have to be the fanciest of the fancy. You can get a cell phone, an iPhone, or your current Android if you have one. Look at your phone and look for a program that says usually picture. Like when you take a picture, you can change it to video and use it that way. Tablets are pretty much the same thing. A lot of tablets run on Android software, so you won't really need to do. Shai said her using Smule. You won't really need to do a lot with a tablet other than simply to record yourself. It usually has the same built-in software as an Android phone, or even if you use an iPad, an iOS system, which is the same thing that the iPhone would use. So you're kind of covered on both of those sides. Again, a DSLR camera, there's a ton of them out there. You can go to Amazon and get a whole kit if you'd like to, if you really want to spend the money. You're looking at about $350 to $450. If you don't really want to spend all that and you really just want to keep it low key and low budget, that's my claim to fame, baby. I'll do a low budget in a minute. I advise to use a cell phone. I advise to use an iPad or whatever you have access to, really, honestly. But the only thing I really want you to do is I really want you to focus on what it is you're presenting. Watch it back, record it, watch it back, and never just take your first take as the only take. Remember, you're recording something that you can always record again, and you can make it better, and you can take your time and really polish your product, because you're putting your best foot forward, right? Think about if you were going on stage. Well, you wouldn't want to go on stage half-assed. You would want to go on stage with your best foot forward. So that's how I think about it when I record. So that's my little 2 cents for that. Now, if you're talking about audio, audio is a little. Hold on a second. Audio is a little different. We're talking about. There's a lot of things that come into play when you're talking about audio, right? So with audio, you really have to focus on and just be cognizant of the room you're in, right? Sometimes we just don't live in apartments or houses that are acoustically, they're not really made for recording. Well, there's ways that you can kind of get around that. One of the ways is go to your bedroom. If you know it or not, your bed and your pillows are dampeners in your room and can add bass to your voice and to the audio that you're presenting. That's a really good way. Now, if you do that, please make your bed. I'm just saying. I don't want to see nobody's bed, just a mess. I don't want to see drawers on the floor. I'm trying to be professional, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Ain't that the truth, though?
So just make sure you do that. The next thing you want to really focus on is you want to focus on how close you are or how far away you are from the actual recording device's audio microphone. So if you get too close to the microphone, you can sound like this, and if you get too loud, you become distorted. But if you get too far away, you then sound like this, and it becomes really hard to understand what it is you're saying or singing, right? The other thing you want to also make sure is you want to try to focus on and remember that you're not singing a cappella, you're singing with music. For those of you who use like Smule and those kind of apps, you really don't have to worry about the level of the music changing on you if you walk into another room, because it's built into the software that of the app that you're using. For those of you who are like me and who are ghetto like me, we prefer to use the actual speakers in the room. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to remember that if you leave that room because you're doing a performance of some kind and you're recording yourself doing the performance and you're going from room to room or something like that, that the music's not following you, right? The music doesn't just grow legs and walk out with you. So you have to be cognizant of what it is you're presenting and how that is balanced. Does that make sense? Okay. And I think lastly, I had to work on it today, but this is only 10 minutes, so don't judge me on my little lighting, okay? The next thing is you want to focus on your lighting, okay? Lighting is super duper important. Lighting can make or break a performance, because if the person can't read your face and see that you're smiling during a particular song that calls for that, or that you're sad because the song calls for that kind of emotion and to emote, well, then you've lost them. You've lost your audience. They have no idea what it is you're feeling about this song. And the same can go for any kind of any performance, whether it be in acting or singing. The people need to see your face. They need to see your pretty little mug. So make sure you focus on your lighting. One of the ways you can do that is, if you want to go an expensive route, you can get you a ring light. Ring lights are not that expensive. They're about between 40 and 50, maybe $100, depending on the model you get. I have gone the cheap route. I have done it from, I took a lamp, took the top off.
Say that again? What?
I took a lamp, unscrewed the top, took the shade off, okay? Turned the shade to face me and allowed the light to bounce up. And that way the bright light wasn't on my face, but it was above me, which is exactly what I'm doing right now with my ring light, because I didn't want the light to be too harsh and I didn't want the light to be too bright. So it's a kind of a hard, and again, this is only 10 minutes. I don't have time to treat a room and to do it, like I said.
No judgment, Michael, no judgment.
I mean, but
sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay,
you gotta whip it together.
I'm being lit up right now by my ring light and my ring light only. So it was a very nice investment for me.
It really is.
You know, you got to think like you're probably not just doing video competitions. You know, you'll probably want to do some videos and post them on YouTube. You might want to post on these karaoke quarantine pages. And you want to put out some nice stuff. I mean, it's an investment. And for anyone who loves to do makeup, a ring light is your best friend. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Face.
I mean,
so but please don't feel like you have to go out and get yourself a ring light.
Right. No.
It took me years to get one, and I'm really frugal, and I'm really I'm like Scrooge, and so I had to kind of pump myself up to make that investment. But I'm so glad I did. But before that, I just went to Home Depot, and here, I'll show you. Hold on one second.
And while she's going to get that, I just to piggyback on what she said. Yes, it's really important to not worry so much about getting the greatest and latest, the latest and greatest. It's more important that you focus on getting what works for you now.
So y'all, This is what I did. Okay. So back in 2018, when I was doing World Karaoke Tour video competitions, I didn't have a ring light. Okay. And everything in my apartment is that warm toned light. It's very warm toned. And so it's not really nice for video capturing, right? Because truth be told, daylight or at least a cool toned, like a natural light balance is better for videos. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I ended up going to Home Depot and I get myself this clamp light.
Bam.
Okay. And I get these little butterfly clip thingies, right?
Come on, professional.
Right? So you just get these things, and there's a daylight bulb in here, a nice little bulb here, okay?
Oh.
Right? You just get one of these guys, and then you put this little, just something that light can actually go through, and we made ourselves our own soft box, okay? And then we just clamp this onto our little lamps stands, right? Clamp it on, plug it in, and turn it on, and you can adjust it where you need it to be. And it's really, really cheap. I think this one was like not even $10 total.
Come on, yes. See, guys, that's the kind
there
of
are DIYs out there, y'all, to get yourself some good lighting, okay?
Yes, yes. That's yes. That is the kind of stuff you guys need. These are the kind of tips and hacks we're talking about. You can make anything work. And Shy, if you still on here, girl, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We can make anything work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, singers know how to make it all happen, baby.
Look, Michael and Miriam are frugal cheapskates. Okay, it takes us lots of time to build up the, I guess, reasons, right? We have to have the reasons to like validate spending over $100 on something, right?
Yes.
Heck, I even like have to validate spending over $50 on an item, right? So I had to come up with some ways to make sure that everything just looked right. Okay. You gotta think like it's not just lighting. Okay, it could be in front of a window, have that natural light come in. It'll soften everything up, make you look real fresh. Okay, it won't accentuate your wrinkles and stuff. It's just not. You got that natural.
Shut up. Look at me.
Okay.
Yes, God. Yes, God.
Make sure that your back isn't turned to that window, to your light source, because then you're backlit and then you're very like shadow. There's too many shadows happening. Okay, you have to be facing the light. Like I'm facing my ring light as it burns my eyeballs. It's fine. I'm a sweating. Okay, so sorry. So when you're positioning yourself on the video, make sure your back isn't up against the wall. Make sure you have some level of dimension. Like right now, I'm sitting on my couch. I've got my backdrop. I've got my little owls, but I'm sitting forward. I'm not leaned back like this, okay? I'm sitting forward, and I'm almost sitting on the edge of my couch, right? And I could film a singing video just like this if I wanted to, okay? Heck, I could do a makeup tutorial if I were here. Yeah.
That's right. But did you guys notice? Did you guys notice her audio change when she sat back? Do it again, Miriam. Do it again.
Oh, when I'm right back here. When I'm back here, as far instead of like right here where the microphone is at and everything. Now I'm one of those people. I used to be a karaoke host, so I have my microphone, I have my mix board, I have my PA. Okay, and if you've seen any of my live stream videos on my own Facebook page, you'll notice that I use my microphone all the time. Okay, that's just because sometimes it's harder to hear the lower end of my voice if I'm just doing it like this. Okay, but it's just I love using a microphone. So if you have one, use it.
Yes.
Because I want you to feel like you're on stage without being on stage. That camera is your audience. Because behind that camera is everyone watching your video. So you have to use a little bit of imagination, you know? So
Mhm.
there are a lot of people who are just sitting there and kind of just, and we'll get into that as far as performance is concerned, but you know, there are a lot of people who are doing these videos like they're just posting it on their Smeel account. It's not a big deal. Um, you know, they're not really giving it 100%. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you think the judges don't know you're not giving it 100%, you are dead wrong.
They clock it every time, guys. They
Dead
clock it
wrong.
every time.
See, the thing is, you know, just by watching someone if they're into their song or not. It's in their eyes,
Mhm.
it's in their body
Mhm.
language. Okay.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
trust me, I'm one of those people you probably don't want judging you because I will pick up on every nuance. And Michael will tell you.
Yes. So, Miriam, we have a question from
Okay.
Shy.
Okay.
Shy said, "What do I do if I have a phone and daylight only and a baby crying in the house?"
You wait till the baby's not crying.
Well, maybe you could put the baby down for a nap,
Mm-hmm.
in the bedroom, I'm assuming, and
Mm-hmm.
then I would say go into, you can
You
also
can go
do.
into
Do you live in a house or an apartment, Shai? Because if you live in an apartment, I would say go in the hallway, out in the hallway of the apartment, and sing.
mm-hmm.
Or you can go in. I mean, they can even do their bathroom. You would, because you would never know if you put a little backdrop up.
Right. I mean, it's really tough because I know with newborns, like especially if baby is is a light sleeper and is easily jostled with noise. Um, Now, my older one kind of grew up around music, so music actually soothed my older child. My younger one, in his early stages, didn't actually hear a whole lot of music. Like it wasn't like loud and everything. I used to take my firstborn to karaoke, to
Mhm.
family friendly karaoke all the time since he was like 6 weeks old. So he was around pretty loud music all the time. So even if I were being loud, it wouldn't
It
bother.
wouldn't bother him.
Yeah, but my little one was always, anytime he would hear music, it would wake him up because
Um,
noise. So
yeah.
um, what I would suggest for you then is to go to Home Depot and get yourself these clamp on lights. Okay. And then what you do is you go into your closet.
Mm.
Okay. You go into your closet and
Mm-hmm.
you clamp it onto one of the shelves and you just film it there. Because that's what I do when my kids are asleep. It's 11 o'clock at night and I want to
Mm-hmm.
scroll.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I go, is my closet. Because,
Shai also said the music's too loud, it wakes the baby up, and I only have the TV to play YouTube tracks on. Well, let me answer that part, because you can, let's say you go to the closet or something like that, or try to step out of the room and go to a different room if you can. You can download the YouTube app on your phone, and you can actually live stream yourself on YouTube and just save the recording, and you can literally record yourself singing to a YouTube track, or you can just simply go to your picture, like, and swipe over. Well, if you have an Android, I don't know how that really works, but you would activate your video recording software, and before you hit record, go to your YouTube app, because you have now downloaded the app. Find the video of the track you're going to sing to, and let it play through your phone while you're singing. That usually can work. Or you can go online and get a little cheap Bluetooth speaker for like $10. You can find them they're at CVS, they're at Walgreens. They're tiny little things that they connect Bluetooth to your phone, so they're not actually wired to anything, and you can literally play it from that as well. I'm in the house, so I stand. Shai said, I'm in the house, so I stand near the window for lighting, and I suck on music apps like Smule, but I'll try. So, but yes, Shai, that's a great question. That's great feedback. Try that. I think, do like Miriam said, try to find a closet or something like that. Even if you have overhead lighting, that can be okay. But go out and get you that light that she just showed you from Home Depot. Make yourself a little soft box. You can clamp it to like a bunch of clothes. Clamp it to the bunch of clothes and let it hang down a little bit. Plug it in somewhere, and you can just record yourself real quick that way too. So
yeah, and if you're talking about, Smule and everything, the great part about that is, it will, you can adjust how, like after you record it and when you're watching the playback before you post it, you can actually adjust the volume gain for singing versus music. You can actually turn the music down a bit and your vocals up a bit so you can actually hear yourself sing. To be honest, as a judge, I would prefer to hear your voice over the music.
Me too.
I don't like the music drowning out voices. To me, that feels more like, I mean, my preference is that it was nicely balanced, okay? But not everybody is a sound tech.
Right.
So I would prefer your voice to actually shine through more than the music. If your music is louder than your voice, what that indirectly tells me is that you're nervous and you're trying to hide something. Unfortunately, if you do have a judge like me, I can still hear the problems. I can still pick it out. Even if the music's drowning you out, I can still pick it out. So it's better just to have your voice up front so I can hear those things. If I were to coach you, I need to hear those problems so I can fix it. I can help you fix the issues. If I can't hear your voice, it's a lot harder for me to hear what I have to help you fix. And that goes for any vocal coach. It will be very difficult for any of us to help you fix what you need to do. And especially when you're talking about, like, for example, KWC, the national finals is turning into a Keep On Singing program where there will be coaches. If the coaches cannot hear you, then they'll have a problem helping you. So, yeah.
And so that's great feedback. So now let's talk a little bit, Miriam. Let's talk a little bit about performance.
Okay.
Because I think that ties into what you're saying. Because as well as being heard, they have to show their performance in the video, and it has to be meaningful to all of the judges. Correct?
Yes. So, hold on a second. Hello.
Shai said, "Damn girl, I'm so glad you wasn't a judge at Worlds because I'm famous for hiding behind the music." Hi, Melinda. How you doing?
Oh man. So performance. Okay, so let's get into our performance segment, right? Because that's basically what I mean. Aside from all the technical stuff, like I said, that's the background stuff, right? That's kind of setup. But what you'll be judged on is your performance on that video and how do you perform on a video and make something impactful, okay? So first and foremost is your song choice. I don't know how many times have you heard, you've got a great voice, but I didn't like that song. How many times have you heard somebody and go, man, if only they had picked a different song. And you like listen to them singing, and the entire time, the only thing that's going on in your head is I wish they had picked a different song. This song doesn't fit their voice. Why did they pick this song? It's a boring song.
I know for me that I've judged a few, and it makes me sad because I hear the potential in their voice, and it feels like it just gets dissolved in the wrong song. Like like all that just goes away because it's overshadowed by this horrible choice that has nothing. It might be what they might like, but I don't know if it's really what works for them.
See, when you're talking, going out to a karaoke bar and singing a song on stage, and having fun, that's one thing. With competition, you have to have strategy. And in competition, you need to bring forth the best of your voice and enhance and accentuate the strengths in your voice, not the weaknesses. So, for example, if you are somebody who doesn't know how to do runs and riffs, stay away from Mariah Carey songs.
Preach.
Okay? If you are a soft singer, okay? I know several of these where they're soft singers. They're not big power belters. Not everybody is, okay? Some are built like
That's fine.
Some are built like trombones, okay? We're not all built the same, okay?
That's right. But there's a need for those kinds of singers too.
Right, right. So if you are a soft, intimate kind of singer and you've got this beautiful quality to your voice, don't be picking no Whitney Houston.
Wow.
Okay.
Woo! Baby,
unless you are a power belter.
I need some tea. Is there any tea around here?
I'm just saying, okay, because here's the thing. I know in competitions, a lot of people, they tend to choose diva songs. They tend to choose songs from these big vocalists because, that's what they love to hear. However, it's like you being, you're a, I hate to say it this way, but it's like you were created to be a triangle and you're trying to,
be a circle.
Violin.
Yeah, right. I see what you're saying. No, I think, but to I guess elaborate on that a little bit. I look at it with them as when I see a singer trying to do a Whitney Houston song that they know they're not really built for. I think for me, it's them living their fantasy because they want to encapsulate and have that moment that Whitney and Mariah and all these other singers have had or that have created.
Right.
But the reality of it is we all, myself included, every singer, if you want to be a singer and you want to be someone who is taking this thing as a potential career or even as something that you really want to give it a real go, you have to be real with yourself and you have to take stock in what you do have. So assess yourself, assess what you do have, accentuate the positive, baby, try to hide the negative if you have to, but or work on it so it becomes a positive.
Right.
But I think the biggest part of it is they really want to live this fantasy and they want to run before they walk or even crawl.
And here's the thing that I have noticed, and I don't want to come off condescending. Just keep in mind that all the people who do know me personally know that everything I say is, number one, truth, but number two, it comes from a place of love because I really genuinely want everybody to perform their best. Even if I were competing against you, I want to be competing against your A game. I don't want to be competing against your C or D game. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to go up against your best. And if you beat me at your best, I would probably be the one applauding you the loudest in the crowd because I would be so proud of everything that you've accomplished. Okay. So with that being said, is it impossible for you to be able to sing Whitney Houston songs or, Celine Dion or Mariah Carey or Aretha Franklin or, Luther Vandross or, Sam Smith or Usher? Would it be difficult for you to sing those songs? No, it's not. Actually, I've heard many different timbres of voices singing the same songs, and it gives it a different quality, and I get that. What I see is, for those of you who are intimate singers, who are a little bit quieter, okay, who are not power belters, I encourage you to take the acoustic version of the song. Because when you're talking about the normal track, you're talking layers and layers of instrumentation. and it builds and it gets loud. And if your voice doesn't carry over the volume of the instrumentals, that's not the right instrumental for you. Now, if you're talking an acoustic version, like I just sang Halo, the acoustic version. I think I Have Nothing, the acoustic version, and it's literally one instrument. I'm pretty sure your voice can rise above one instrument, okay? Especially if it's a piano, right? So song selections is important. Competition song selections are important. You need to be bringing out the best in your voice. And that means song selections that really cater to your sound, not necessarily what you like to sing. Everyone's always talking about, well, this song, and how many times have you heard this, Michael? Well, this song speaks to me.
Well, baby, it might be telling you something different. I mean, I'm just saying.
We're not here to throw, sometimes I throw shade.
No, but we have to be honest. You have to be honest. You have to be honest.
You might think that it speaks to you, and it probably does. But the problem is you yourself may not be able to emote the same feelings out to your audience.
Right.
If you have not mastered that, then the audience will not sense the same connection to that song that you might feel.
Exactly.
And you're talking about your audience, you're also talking about your judges. Your judges might not be interpreting your interpretation of that song as you connecting, okay? There are ways to do that, with dynamics, with lyrical line, with breath support. There are various different things that you can do to jazz up a song.
So when Miriam, I don't mean to cut you off right there, but hold on one second. I want to make sure that those of you who don't know what Miriam's referring to when she says dynamics, she's really basically just talking about how loud or how soft you are, what kind of inflections you're doing on different words, right? When she's talking about lines, she's talking about an entire phrase in a song. How are you ending? How are you beginning that phrase? How are you carrying that phrase through as far as notes are concerned, right? She wants, everything needs a fluidity to it. Music is fluid. Music can be what we call staccato or choppy, but music in itself as a whole is fluid. So that she's referring to those kind of terms. So when you hear those kind of terms, that's what she's talking about. Sorry, go ahead, Miriam. I just want to make sure everybody understands.
There you go. See? I'm telling you. That's why I'm so proud of you, Michael. So, breath support. That's the number one thing that I've noticed as far as karaoke singers are concerned. Without proper breath support and that appoggio, you're not going to be able to hold out your lyrical lines. You will catch a breath in the middle of a word.
What's appoggio?
Appoggio is breath support, basically. It's the technical term. It's the musical terminology for breath support. Okay,
just so everyone understands.
Right. That means that you don't just okay. You have to get some support in your diaphragm, which is that area right here. Okay, and it basically gives it some oomph, right? So, I'm not trying to do any vocal coaching right now. See, this is what happens. I end up like a vocal coach while I'm on a video. But if you want some vocal coaching, I'm your girl right here.
Okay? Yes.
Yeah, but shameless plug.
Nothing wrong with that.
But song choices, the reason it's important is because if you do not pick a right song for your voice, it's jarring. And you may not, I can't say you will not, but you may not get the best score that you possibly can get had you picked a different song, if that makes any sense, okay? The difference between competition songs and songs from home, like Michael was saying, sometimes we just like to sing whatever the heck we want to sing, right? Sometimes we just, hey, I want to sing, Shoop.
Right.
right?
Or I want to sing the most, biggest song that's created. Like I Will Always Love You or
Right.
Hero Mariah Carey or something like that.
Right. But competition songs is not necessarily big songs, okay?
Doesn't have to be.
It's songs that are right for you,
Mm-hmm.
that really showcase you as a singer, as an artist, okay? And that really takes some soul searching because you have to figure out who you are as an artist and as a performer, okay?
Amen.
Because if you don't know that, then you're going to be like a sapling in a thunderstorm. You know what I mean? It's going to go back and forth. You don't know where the heck you are. You don't know your identity.
And
Now,
guys, I don't mean to cut you off again, but guys, one way to do that, because she's so correct. But one way to do that, if you don't know, because I know, like me, before I came to Miriam, I was like, I have no idea what kind of singer I am. I know I like to sing. I know I can sing these kinds of songs, but what kind of singer am I, right? Versus somebody else. And what I did two things. What I did was I began to record myself singing, and play it back to myself with headphones on, right? And I would try different songs that I never would have tried had Miriam not told me to try this or try that, right? But then I also listened to actual singers out in the industry, like people like India Ari, who's a song teller, like she's a storyteller. When she sings, she's telling you the story, and you can actually feel what she's saying. Versus Mariah Carey, who's also a songwriter, but she's got a bunch of tips, tricks, and bells and whistles to her voice that she can do a lot more. And she's a belter as well. So the juxtaposition of both of those helps me understand where I kind of fit in the whole spectrum of the type of singer you are, and that could help you. So when what Miriam's talking about is basically you finding yourself and really identifying, honing in on what it is and who you are as a singer, because you don't have to sing. You don't have to have Mariah's voice. You don't have to have Whitney's voice. You don't have to have Sam Smith's voice. You damn sure don't have to have Katy Perry's voice. You can really have your own style and your own thumbprint of how you sing, and it'll be beautiful.
right. Another key point as far as song selections are concerned is figuring out what category your voice falls under. So, for example, I'm a contralto.
Mm-hmm.
And basically a contralto. So you have your high sopranos, right? In the female voice range, you've got the high sopranos, you've got your mezzo sopranos, you've got your altos, okay. And for the male voices, you've got your tenor, you've got your baritone, and your bass. Now you also have your countertenors, who are tenors who sing in the soprano range. They're like the highest of voices. They can get.
Their scrotum hasn't dropped, pretty much.
They can get real hot.
Just saying.
I'm just saying. Sometimes I look at these countertenors and I'm like,
baby, I mean,
hear you, you know.
How dare you?
I'm a contralto, and that means that I am basically a female baritone. My comfort zone is singing in the male tenor range, and so singing things like, Celine Dion or Whitney Houston can be very taxing on my voice because it requires me to go into my head voice, my upper register, a lot more frequently than I'm comfortable going, okay? And in the beginning, when I started singing more consistently, it was definitely tough. You really have to work towards strengthening your head voice, strengthening your mixed belts, strengthening your chest voice if you tend to sing in head voice most of the time. Like choir people tend to sing in head voice a lot. So they're not used to being chesty, because in a choir setting, it needs to blend. And so you don't get to really bring out your chest voice a lot. But for a lot of pop singers, rock singers, they tend to do a lot of chest to mix and not a whole lot of head voice. So there's different areas of your vocal range that may need to be worked on. What I suggest though is if you are dead set, you're like, I love this song. I know it's good for my voice, but it's a little too high. Mm-hmm. Listen, karaoke is, there's this beautiful thing called
transposing
a song, okay? Mm-hmm. And you can drop a key or two and bring it down to a level that makes it easy for you to sing it, okay?
We have a question, Miriam. We have another question for you. Beth Grisler says, how do you know what's good for your vocal cords? I try harder songs to make it a challenge. Is that a bad thing?
Yes and no. Okay, let me elaborate. If you do not have proper technique and you're trying to sing a harder song that's outside of what you're trained to do, then you can run the risk of damaging your vocal cords in the long run. Okay, mm-hmm. Using that technique will harm your vocal cords, will harm your singing ability. If you are working a new technique that you learned under the proper tutelage of a singing instructor or a vocal coach of some sort,
like Miriam,
like me, and you are trying this new song out to emphasize or kind of solidify that technique in you, then yes, it's a good thing. I love to challenge myself. And I wouldn't have gotten to where I got to without challenging myself. Mm-hmm. But again, if you don't do it with the proper training and the proper technique, you do run the risk of just hurting yourself in the long haul, okay? You'll find yourself screaming, especially if you're singing something higher than you're normally used to. You might start screaming. You will lose your voice. You'll harm it. You'll tear something in there. You might end up getting vocal nodes and needing surgery, which then again, that therapy is a long time and your voice might not be the same. Your voice is an instrument and you need to take very, very good care of it. And that means using the proper tools to enhance. So songs that are challenging, it should be used more as a mechanism to enhance certain techniques. And that's what I do. Michael knows, and some of my other students know that when I'm trying to reiterate a specific technique of singing, I will suggest a song that really forces them to focus on that technique. Otherwise, they won't be able to sing that song properly. Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. So Miriam, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah,
I think that's really important. I think what you said is so poignant, because once you have your song selection down, right, mm-hmm. and you figure out who you are as a singer, you figure that part out. You figured out what songs you want to do, and you've checked with everybody that you can check with. Yep. That's either been in a competition or is a vocal coach like you. Anyway. Then the next thing I think, right, is you have the song selection, but you need to know how you look, right?
Right.
Isn't attire part of this too?
Right.
Why is that important?
So in a video, okay, so when you're actually in a competition and you're on that stage, especially, national competitions or world competitions, something bigger than your local bar competition. Because I think in a local bar competition, you can kind of get away with whatever. Mm-hmm. But when you're talking about competitions like Talent Quest, KWC, WKT, Icing, you're talking about all of these competitions out there. You need to present yourself well, because you're not going to see other people coming out there with a t-shirt and jeans on, unless it's bedazzled. But then you're not going to really see anyone coming out with like ripped jeans, like they're coming to their local bar on a Friday night, to binge drink with their friends, right? It's not that type of competition. It's a singing competition. You wouldn't see that on The Voice. on X Factor, on AGT. You know, you would not see that. Okay, everyone comes out dressed to impress. Okay,
that's right.
And they are dressed in a way to kind of coincide with the song that they're going to be singing. So if you're like, for me, for example, if I'm going to be singing a big ballad, I'm coming out in a gown.
That's right.
Okay, because how better to live that moment than to be all done up like you going on a red carpet, right?
Exactly.
If I'm going to come out there singing a pop song, you know, from Little Mix, which I ended up doing last year, I came out in a bodysuit, y'all. Okay, because that's what pop singers wear nowadays. That's what artists wear. They wear bodysuits. Okay.
But what are some things to avoid though? Because I mean, it's hard to pick. It's already hard to pick outfits that you may like, but may not fit the song. That's already confusing as hell as it is, right? But what are some things we for sure should avoid?
You should avoid anything. Let's see. How do I put this nicely?
Just say it. Just to say it. Say how you got to say it.
Okay. You don't want to look
ratchet,
like rolled out of bed. You don't want to look ratchet. You don't want to look like a streetwalker.
Is that what they call them these days? I used to call them hoes. I don't know what
you don't want to come out looking like you just came home from a construction yard.
Hey, come on, construction.
Okay. You want to look your best. Okay. You don't have to wear fancy stuff, but you know, putting on, you know, a pair of nice jeans and a nice blouse, or a really nice button-down top, okay, with some slacks. Just look nice and look presentable, okay? Think like you're going to church or something. If you're a person of faith, think, you know, you're going to church, but less conservative, less office-y, okay? Don't look like
we have another question for you. And it's from Julie Keeter.
Hey, Julie. Hi, boo.
Julie had a really great question. She said, thanks for having this conversation. Should a competitor consider the source of their materials before attempting to compete with a song? For example, I see a lot of people using the song I Know Where I've Been from Hairspray, or I'm Here from The Color Purple.
Okay, so things that are even like songs like A Change Is Gonna Come, right? Things that are very poignantly
we talked about this the other night.
Right. It's clearly coming from a place of oppression and liberation of certain people, right? So I'm one of those people where I like to sing the songs that that resonate with me. And as you know, I'm not Black. I'm clearly Asian. Okay, just in case you didn't know.
Are you serious? I thought you were Black. See, I thought your name was Rashida.
I'm not a Black person. I might sing with some soul, but I'm an
like Bonquisha girl. Yes.
Okay, I'm a soul sister. SEOUL. So I love A Change Is Gonna Come. Because I am an ally, and you know that oppression doesn't necessarily, it might not just resonate with, you know, the Black community. It might resonate with all minorities. It might resonate, you know, from someone who comes from an abusive household, you know, like something different, right? So lyrics, that's the wonderful part about music. And I don't ever want to say not to sing a song, because look, I heard a cis white man singing A Change Is Gonna Come, and he blew it out the water. Like, he blew the roof off the place. Okay.
Let me just pipe in for just a second. I agree with you that I don't care who you are, what color you are, what creed, race, whatever. If there's a song that is typically known to be an African American song, like "I'm Here," that was written for Color Purple, which was a story by Alice J. Walker, or I Know Where I've Been, which is a song that talks specifically about, or it doesn't really talk specifically, but it was created for that kind of time period. My only thing is, if you're going to do it and use it to pay homage to something, even though it may mean something different for you, you have to understand. Us as singers, we have to understand that we sing for an audience,
right? And
whether
just
we like
keep
the
in mind that
song.
it may resonate with some people in the audience a little bit differently than you intended. So,
But here's my thing though, if your talent can carry that and rock the shit out of it, excuse me for cussing, but rock the hell out of it, then go for it. That's what I say.
Right.
But if you know you're not really strong on it, mama, don't do it. Don't do it, sis. Because it's gonna read as an insult to that minority group that has held that song almost sacrosanct. Do you know what I mean? Because those songs, like "Change Is Gonna Come," was written during the civil rights movement. Like it was a song that was specific for a time period. So if you can do it, mama, baby, sing. But if you know that you're not sure, don't do that.
Yeah. So Michael, you said that last bit. If you question it, there are hundreds of thousands of songs you can pick from.
Amen.
You don't need to sing that song.
Right.
If you are concerned about, is this going to trigger some people, especially because it is a racially charged song, it is deeply embedded in a specific community. It resonates very deeply in a specific community. I would actually, me personally, I mean, I would sing at home, but
right.
If you're in a competition setting, there are so many other songs that you could pick from that aren't racially charged like that, that I would say that it would be safer just to
Rise Up, Andra Day. I mean, I know it's been overdone. It's been done.
Something else that's more inspirational. There's tons of inspirational songs out there. If you want to be singing inspirationally, that you don't have to pick that. And I'm not saying that you should feel limited to not singing certain songs. It's just just
know your voice. Know your voice.
Just like the whole deal with R. Kelly.
I'm done.
Okay.
Is that anybody got some tea? Y'all got tea over there?
Right. Let me tell you. Okay, that whole deal with R. Kelly and the whole media blowing up about R. Kelly, and then if I were to come out and start singing, "I Believe I Can Fly" at a contest,
canceled.
People are going to just look at me like, do you not know what's going on with R. Kelly? Did you not hear? Are you being insensitive? Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to find another situation where that's not, things like that. That's, you have to be mindful.
Yeah, you have to read your room. You have to read your room.
Right. And so that's all part of song strategy too. You have to look at all of that. Like I was looking at singing "I'm Your Angel" in a duets contest.
Oh, I would have loved to.
I realized no, because the male part's sung by R. Kelly, but I really like it because it's R. Kelly and Celine Dion, and it's.
I know, me too.
But this is not the time.
Right. Hey, come on, preach.
Yes, it's not
now
the time.
Now is not the time to try to figure that out.
Right now, might not be the time, you guys.
Don't do it to yourself, sis.
Yeah, I mean, if you're questioning it, what I would suggest is to record it, okay? Record you singing it, and maybe get the stamp of approval from your POC friend. Okay, like just saying, like, hey, if you saw this, would you feel some kind of way? Be honest, you know. And
again, like Miriam said, it's not really about limiting what you choose. It's just being mindful and respectful of where it came from, and not trying to. And you don't want anyone to feel like you're appropriating their culture because you chose a song and didn't do it justice. Do you know what I mean? I think that's pretty much bottom line what we're saying.
Right.
All right. Okay. Now I don't want to belabor that. But let's move on. So you were talking about performance.
So please don't look grungy. Please do not, like, seriously, just look nice on video. Okay. I don't want you coming out and posting up a video. Like, think of it this way. If the video that you're submitting had to be submitted on a public forum, is it something that you would be proud to post up?
Great point. Great point.
Because nothing's lost on the internet, y'all. So just saying. So whatever you're presenting, whatever you put forth as far as online contests are concerned, make sure that whatever it is that you're giving out there, that it's something that you don't mind your parents seeing, that you don't mind your children seeing. Okay, that you're dressed nice, that you look nice, your face is moisturized. Okay,
yeah, she said moisturized.
Your hair is combed. Okay,
please comb that hair
very long. You don't have to, like, I mean, granted, like, I have makeup on right now just to do this video. This took me about 10 minutes. Okay, it doesn't take a whole lot of time. You can put on just some eyeliner, some lashes, a little bit of lips, and you're good to go. Okay, you don't have to beat your whole face. It's not necessary. Put your hair up, you know, curl your hair. Then, you know, make sure you put that gel up in there, you know, and just look nice. Okay, look cleaned up, shave, make sure everything's trimmed. Okay, you know what I mean? Just look
I feel attacked and triggered right now. I feel attacked.
Stop it. You know what I mean? Though you have to look nice, because realistically, think about it this way: if you were at the national finals, are you going to be coming out looking like you do in your videos?
Right. That's right. That's
so
right. And to give, I guess to also give them some perspective that you and I have both been to World. And I don't know about your World, but my Worlds ended up on their national television.
Right.
And so there was a level that we had to maintain as far as appearance wise, that probably you can't go on stage with a pair of jeans. Like that was just not unless the song called for that. Like my first song was Swamp Rock, so it called for that kind of attire, but I still gave it a little zhuzh and made it look like something. You know what I mean?
You don't have to come out in gowns. You don't have to be blinged out all the time. We just want you to look like you took some time into thinking about your outfit. There's
a thought involved.
Okay.
Okay, quick question. So now that we've got the look down, we've got the songs picked out. The last thing that I think is important for people to understand, Miriam, I think is the performance, like the stage presence, how they're presenting themselves when they get on stage. Okay. I don't know about you, but I get terrified every single time I get on stage. Every time. So how do we overcome that?
I still have stage presence, or stage fright. I mean, I'm petrified. My palms get sweaty. Yes, I start getting a little lightheaded. I start hyperventilating. My heart starts racing, and that's just going live in my living room.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you can imagine how I feel when the lights are on me and I have to be on stage and I'm getting judged and there are hundreds of sets of eyes looking at me. You know, it's nerve-wracking. I get that. I get that. So generally, I mean, if you were in a live setting, what I would normally do is I would go to a quiet place. Just go to a quiet place, right? And just take 3 very deep breaths, hold it, and let it out slowly for about 10 seconds. And then take another deep breath, hold it, and then let it out for about 10 seconds. Just 3 times, just to like really calm you down. It's what helps when people are hyperventilating, right? They take those deep breaths to
Right.
calm the nerves a bit, right? But when you end up having fear, see, what you need to do is you just need to think to yourself, like, the fear comes because most of the time people are thinking that the audience and the judges are wanting them to fail, and it's in their heads that you're thinking, oh, they're here to judge me because they're going to tell me no. Listen, baby, this is not X Factor. This is not The Voice. This is not, yeah, no. This is not you auditioning for Capitol, Sony, the James Records. Okay, it's not happen. It's not that. Okay, any competition setting, you're gonna have your haters. Don't get me wrong. They're there. Okay, but for the mass majority of the audience that are there, they're there to cheer you on. Okay, the judges, look, we want you to do well. We want you to make it hard for us. We want you to just get up there and shine like you're in your bedroom with nobody around. Okay? Be the star that you want to be.
I agree with that. And I think that a lot, the other thing that happens, I notice backstage a lot, is that singers or competitors will be backstage watching the singers go up that are before them, right? And become increasingly more nervous, thinking that they have to compete against these other singers. When we say you're competing, I think and this is something I had to learn. I had to learn this. I'm not competing against anyone else. I'm competing against myself and challenging myself to make it better. What my grandmother always raised me on, and what my parents have always raised me on, was iron sharpens iron. When I see someone who is talented getting up to sing a song, I am inspired. I am energized. I got adrenaline, like, yes, all right, he got that, she got that. All right, I'm gonna do mine now. Here I go. And I get hyped about that because that takes away from the fear. That distracts me from being afraid. Because I used to have really bad, where I used to shake. And then I would literally, like 2018, I came off stage after my last song and I bawled because I was so scared. And it was just a flood of a release of emotions that I went stage left and went into the green room and was crying. And I think Sissy came in and some other people came in to calm me down because I was hyperventilating. The emotions are real, and the way you feel about getting on stage is real, and no one can take that away from you. Only thing I can tell you is, for me, Miriam got me to the point where my muscle memory of the songs and my body memory of the songs was so ingrained in me that even when I was nervous, I could perform under any level of stress because I was already programmed that way to like zone and focus, if that makes sense. So when you zone and you focus, you forget the fear because you're ready to hit that first mark. You're ready to hit that next line. You're ready to hit that next chorus. Like your body's already moving and you're like, well, screw it. I'm just going to keep going. I'm too far in now. You know what I mean?
Yes. So the fear, what I realized over the years of competing was the fear came mainly because I wasn't prepared. See, when you are thoroughly prepared with your songs, you know what you're going to do on stage. I mean, I'm not talking like super duper choreography. I'm talking, like how you want to move on stage. You've already envisioned it in your head. You know that under any circumstance, you could sing that song, whether you have, your voice is like half gone or not gone or whatever, and you're comfortable enough to transpose a song in case your voice does kind of feel a little bit rough on the upper register. You're like, you know what? I want to play it a little bit safer. I'm going to take it down half a step. Okay. Knowing your song forward and back, knowing how you're going to be on stage already, and having that preparation time really kind of helps take away that stage fright. Because where does stage fright really come from? Is it just a fear of performing in front of people? Not really, because if you think about it, if you're out there having fun with your friends, do you really get stage fright? That's what I want to ask competitors, is when you go out to karaoke with your friends and you're having a great time, are you afraid of your song? Are you afraid of getting on that stage and putting that microphone to your face and singing your butt off? No, you're not. You're having a great time because you're relaxed, right? You're not taking it super serious. Now in a competition setting, all of a sudden there's this level of, I'm getting judged. Oh no, people are going to hate my singing. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this song today. Oh, my voice is it's not, my voice is not totally here. And okay, put all of that aside. If you're prepared, it takes away a good chunk of that stage fright.
Amen.
It takes a good chunk of it away. You're going to need a little bit of it, though. See, I always say you need a little bit of stage fright, because what it does is it helps keep you focused. Because if you're too comfortable, then you might start being real lax about stuff. There's no fight, right? So the stage fright kind of keeps you on edge, right? It's like a spiky thing, like poking your butt, just right there. If you mess up, like, it's, oh shoot, okay, no, make sure you get that breath, make sure you hit that note, because it's coming. It keeps you alert. It's like a blast of cold air. When you're driving a long distance and you're getting a little tired, you got to get that cold air in your face. Yeah, stage fright, think of that as your cold air. Okay, because if you're too comfortable with the song, you might not be as on your game as you think you are without a little bit of stage fright. So,
but I think to piggyback on that with you too, I think that there's also other things you can do too. What helps me is when I use that fright a little bit, but then when I start to make eye connection, making eye contact for me is, oh my God, because what ends up happening is I challenge myself to make you smile. Somehow, some way, I'm gonna make you laugh. I'll be silly, or I'll sing a note that you'll like, or something will happen, and I'll make you smile. If I don't, then I'm like, okay, that's a challenge. I got to work on this. Let's just do it again. And that was part of what I prepared for nationals, was that when I got up on that stage, regardless of who was there, I wanted to make eye contact. I wanted to be able to have that intimate connection, even though I was far away on stage.
Yeah. Now you don't want, so eye contact, very, very important, right? But a lot of people, and don't think of it this way, okay? If you're a seasoned competitor and you're a seasoned performer, this shouldn't come too difficult, right? But for those of you who are watching who are kind of new to the game,
if you're a newbie, don't do it.
Yeah, if you're a new
don't do it.
I suggest people to actually look above people's heads, like in their general direction, but like at the tops of their heads. Don't make eye contact. Okay, just kind of scan across their faces and just kind of over their heads, and maybe like find your friends, have your friends like strategically seated like in different areas of the room, so that if you have to make eye contact with someone, it will be your friend, someone who's a friendly face, who will smile at you and cheer you on, so that all you're seeing is people cheering you on. Okay. If your eyes land on that one hater, and that might throw you off. Look,
that happened to me in 2018, and it wasn't a hater, but it was a judge that literally sat stone faced, and it was so jarring for me that it threw me off my game.
Right.
Because I hadn't trained with you yet, and I wasn't prepared to get that kind of reaction. So what I've learned to do is now I do like you said, and I look above people's heads when I get nervous and people aren't giving the reaction that I want.
Yeah.
I begin looking at different sides of the room. You'll notice if you look back at my videos, I look at different sides of the room. I'm not looking at anybody.
Right.
Or I look at the light.
Yep.
I look at the light.
Yeah.
That's always helped me.
So when you're talking about stage presence in a video, especially because this is mainly about videos, not like live performance. Right. So stage presence in a video.
Mm-hmm.
Facial expression is very key.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you're singing a sad song and you're smiling through most of it,
it's a little off-putting. Yeah.
It's very. Then I started thinking, like, are you like
happy that
or like, are you enjoying the sadness? Like, what's that your facial expression is not congruent with the lyrics of this song nor the tone of the song, because the like I said, the instrumentation really kind of guides the song along. So if you've got a song in a minor key and it's a sad song, but you're smiling through the whole thing, we got problems.
Right.
I'm going to think something.
Right.
Okay. Psychology major. I'm going to start thinking something. In the same sense, if you're singing a happy song and you're not smiling at all, we got problems too. Okay. The great part about a video is if the first take is garbage and you just don't feel very comfortable with it, take numerous takes, maybe not all in one shot, not all in one day, because you might wear yourself out. But you know, this is where preparation comes in. If you know that something is due by a certain time, make sure that you give yourself enough time to film a take of the song, like once every day or once every other day, and then take the best one.
Agreed.
Hit that. Because realistically, that's a great. I mean, when you're in a live setting, you only get that one shot.
Amen.
Right? But when you're talking about a video, you can do it multiple times over and over and over until you get the best one, the one with the least amount of problems, the one that the audio sounds great, the one where you look the most comfortable singing the song, right? So, and again, you're singing to your camera, but at the same time, just think to yourself, you're singing to whoever you're dedicating the song to. You know? Like if I'm singing an angry, like heartbroken song, like I have to drudge up some memory of my ex, and I will look at that camera like I'm talking to my ex, and you're gonna get a lot of facial expressions. Very expressive person. Okay, you're gonna feel that anger, you're gonna feel that hurt. Okay, because I have to drudge it up, and I'm already mad that I have to drudge it up just to sing the song, right? So, but if you're talking about like a love song, like I don't know how many times I was recording Right Here Waiting for You. I had to take that video. I had to film that video like 7 or 8 times because I would break down crying.
Yeah, it's a powerful song. It's a very powerful song. I love that.
I was thinking about my boyfriend, right?
Aww.
And just thinking of singing that song to him meant so much more than it's just a song that I ended up crying like 7 takes in. And it was just like, you know what? I need to take a break real quick. And I need to like numb myself back a little bit more just to get through the song. But you know what I mean? Like, so
yeah.
When you actually visualize the camera as being somebody, or the camera is your audience, you should be performing on that screen the same way you would on the stage. Okay. Even if you get something here where it's just your head to like your chest, okay, and you're singing like this, you know, it could be if I should stay,
you better sing.
I would only be in your way, so I'll go. You know, so something like that, you know, where you just really draw them in with your facial expression, with your hand gestures, okay? If you're doing a full body where your camera is further back so you can see your whole body, then baby, I better see you move like you're moving on stage.
Amen.
Okay? I don't want people just standing there going, you know, if I should stay,
Yeah, it's all about body language. You look bored, and if you look bored, then the person watching is bored.
Right, right. So please make it interesting, because it is harder to emote through a video, through a screen, than it is live. So
Yeah.
you're gonna need to do a little bit more
Yes, I
to
can
get it
preach.
through,
I can tell you.
right?
It's
Hmm.
super hard. Okay, so moving on to the next thing, our final spot of the night that we wanted to talk about, I think that was important, is something very important. You see who I put up there, right?
Oh my
Right.
Lord.
Making sure you see that picture.
Oh, I see it.
Everybody got that?
I
Everybody got
see it.
that? Okay. I'm making sure everybody get it. Soak it in.
I'm over here like, no, the judges are really rooting for you. And here's Simon. Okay.
I thought it would be funny.
Mm.
All right. So Miriam, as being having been a judge yourself, and having been judged by other people, why should a competitor understand scoring, and how are things typically scored? I mean, everybody's different, but typically for example, KWC, how is that typically normally scored?
So for the KWC, you're on a 40 point system, right? So it's 10 points for your voice, with the subcategories of quality of voice, mastery of voice, timbre, tone, things like that. Okay, so on and so forth. Then you've got 10 points for your technique, which is pitch, breathing, skill level, diction, timing. Okay. Then you have 10 points for artistry, expressiveness, musicality, lyrical line,
Mhm.
how you kind of make the song your own. Okay, that's basically artistry there in a nutshell. Um, and the last category is stage presence. So it's, your attire. Yes, see, we talked about attire. Okay,
Mhm.
what you're wearing, okay, how you're presenting yourself, how you're moving, if you've got confidence in your song, because there are times when I've seen people who don't look confident in whatever song they pick. They either look bored or they look scared. Okay,
Mhm.
so you can tell if someone's not invested, and then okay, so that's KWC's scoring system, and you have to know this. Okay, the scoring system is important to note before you go into any competition. Why? Okay, I know with WKT it was I think it was voice, stage presence, and like a audience appeal or something, like a general like audience like reaction or something like that, or
Mhm.
overall there's an overall score, like overall how did you do, um, which is always ambiguous, and I don't necessarily agree to do an overall, especially if you have certain specific categories, but that's just,
Mhm.
I've been in many contests like that. It's not unusual to see something like that. um,
Well, what should you focus on though when it comes to? I mean, just overall, really. I mean, what would you say you should focus on
So if you look at
with a
the
competition?
KWC scoring system, right? You're talking
Mhm.
technique, voice,
Mhm.
artistry.
Mhm.
That's 30 points out of 40. That's 75% of your score.
Ah.
Majority voice.
Mhm.
If you think about it, it's your
Mhm.
musicality, it's your vocals, okay? And then 10% is your stage presence. It's movement, how you generally, portray the song body language wise, and how you look, right?
Mhm.
The reason why knowing a scoring system is important is because you can tell just by a scoring system what they're focused on. Now, sometimes you'll have a contest where it's 50% stage presence and 50% voice, which means that they're looking at both of those equally.
Mhm.
Okay? You're going to see some contests where they do focus more on voice and less on stage presence, right? And then
Mhm.
you want to make sure that you're picking songs that are great on your voice. Okay, that
Mhm.
sound great. Okay,
Mhm.
And then you're going to get contests that are more stage presence based, less voice, in which case you could bring out the fun stuff. Okay. You could be like really energetic and do the funny, like gimmicky things. You can do, things that are get the crowd like really riled up and having a great time and keeping you memorable. So the scoring system will determine how you pick your songs, what you wear, what you're going to do on stage. Very important. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The reason also why the scoring system is important is because you don't want to leave points on the table.
Amen.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Yes. So I don't know, Michael, you can tell there are.
I know. I'm just watching based on what you trained me and taught me. There were so many things that I was doing in previous competitions like Talent Quest and Charlotte Idol and other things that I had been doing that I was leaving points on the table. And just like you just broke it down and saying, think about it as 10 points, 10 points, 10 points. That's 30 already out of 40. So you've already, if you get those and you max those out, you've already gotten a good chunk of points already in your bank. And now if you can focus on the other stuff and get those points up, then you're not leaving anything on the table. But I was focused too much, I think, on the song and how well I sang, and I really didn't focus on my outfit, or I really didn't focus on my stage presence. I was so just concerned about how many runs can I do in this song, or how could I, you know what I mean? And so that became my focal point, and then that detracted from me focusing on. Just remember this. If you focus on, especially if you're doing a video submission, you're going to be scored just, I think, pretty much the same way in KWC if you decide to go with KWC. But again, like Miriam said, learn your scoring chart, I guess, or just the way the scoring formula is being worked, because a reputable competition will let you know up front, look, this is how we're scoring and this is what we're basing our scores on. But focus on the things that collectively give you the most points and that you can master. Like if you can master the vocals and you can master the attire, but you're kind of weak on the stage presence a little bit because you get a little nervous on stage, well then you focus on working on the stage presence portion. You still train yourself and still keep yourself going with the vocal stuff, but you really start to really give yourself a more of a hard training on stage presence. Force yourself to do things that you probably wouldn't do. Like I've done crazy stuff when I was younger. I did crazy things to get myself out of the nervousness and the fear. I would go to a mall and just start singing loudly. And people were like, what the hell's going on? I would just randomly, because I was scared. So I had to do crazy things to jar myself to kind of become not numb, because I'm not numb to it. I still get nervous, but to soften the blow of being so nervous that it incapacitates me, right?
Right.
So I got over that, but I still kept enough of it to keep my adrenaline pumping and to keep me focused and zoned in. So I think Miriam is right. You do not want to leave points on the table, and the way you do it is really by focusing on your weak points and strengthening those points. Right.
So, case in point, I've seen videos where again, the contestant isn't wearing anything nice, right? They just look like they were just lounging around and decided to hop on and do a video.
Just gonna walk in here and do a video.
You're going to lose points on stage presence because number one, you didn't dress up.
Right.
Right. So in that sense, the video quality has already gone down.
Amen.
Right? And then on top of that, if you don't look interested in what you're singing, again, you lose, right? Because you're not engaging enough. There's no audience appeal. And yes, that is part of stage presence, you guys. Audience appeal is a subcategory. So if you don't engage me in that video because you look bored, then you just lost points.
Exactly.
If you're so whatever, is that you're not using any kind of oomph, no dynamics, you're not expressive, Okay, because when you're bored, you're not expressive, right? Now you've lost points in artistry, right? And then on top of that, you might start getting really lazy, and so you're not really enunciating your words, and there you lose points in diction. You might lose points in timing because you're a little off, you know?
Everything has a domino effect, guys. Everything
Right.
has a domino effect.
And the quality of your voice goes down because you're not really supporting yourself. So you've lost points on breath and diction and timing. And then the quality of your voice goes down. So again, like Michael said, it's a domino effect. If you're not giving it your 100%, then you're losing points all over the board. And the only person you can be mad at is yourself, because you had time to film it again.
That's right. That's right.
This is not like your live setting qualifiers where it's a one shot and done. Okay, this is a video competition, which means if that's what you're presenting as your best, then prepare to get judged for what you put out.
And what's that other thing about, you know, when you're talking about, because you just mentioned performing and keeping that energy, that same energy. But what do you mean by keeping up the momentum? What does that mean?
So lots of contests have multiple rounds, right? It's not always a one and done.
True.
And when you're planning out your songs and you're planning out your outfits and what you're going to do, you want to start off with a great song and keep singing great songs. There was, for example, there was one individual in a contest in 2015 who came out, and her first song was mind-blowing. Like, it is one of the most difficult songs out there. It's almost, I think it's actually pretty much near impossible to sing. It was from the Fifth Element, the aria. Okay. She blew it out the water, but that was her first song, you guys.
So you're saying there was nowhere to go?
How do you top that song? There's nowhere to go.
Gotcha.
Okay. Strategy, right? So you got to keep that momentum up. You need to be getting top marks for every song you are putting out there. Every song. Every song should be treated like it's the final song. That's a good way to think about it.
And that goes back to what you said about song selection too, right?
Every song should be a finals-worthy song.
Come on now.
And if you don't have one, if you only have two songs that are finals worthy, that in your brain you think that I only have two songs that are good enough for finals, you know, that's why I put it as semifinals and final song. Well, your first two songs may not be strong enough to get you to the next round.
Right.
Okay. So that's when you start working on new stuff and start build or take a song that you do love and perfecting it and making it your own to become finals worthy. Listen, I took One Last Cry by Brian McKnight and made it a finals worthy song. All right.
Yes, you did.
And so you can take a song and make it finals worthy. It all depends on how much work and effort you're willing to put into it. Again, don't leave points on the table. Know the scoring system and know what is being asked of you as a performer, as a competitor, and make sure that you're maxing out as many points as you can. If you know you're not a strong singer, then max out those stage presence points. Okay. And make sure that you're on time. Okay. I think that's one of the nice parts about the KWC scoring system that I like, is because you don't have to be a Beyonce. You don't have to be Jennifer Hudson. You don't have to be, you know, all these big voices. And trust me, you're going to probably be competing against some big voices. Okay. You don't have to have a big voice to do well in the contest.
That's right.
What you need to do is make sure you're maxing out your point. This is a points game, y'all.
That's it.
So if you know, hey, I'm not a really strong belter, the songs I like to sing are more like indie or whatnot, then you go, okay, But can you get max points on an indie song? Sure. If it fits your voice, it brings out the quality of your voice. It brings out the timbre of your voice. And you start using dynamics. Okay, there you go. You got your points for your dynamics. Great use of dynamics. Oh, are you on beat? Oh, boom. There you go. You got your points. Are you on pitch? Boom. Points. Diction. Can I understand?
Is your outfit on point?
Points.
Right.
Okay. Do you look nice? Attire. Points. You know, are you using hand gestures, and are you really emoting? Are you telling a story with your body and your face while you're singing this song? Points. Okay. Is your video looking nice? Does your video look nice? Do you have nice lighting? Can I see your face? Are you engaging the camera? Points. Audience appeal. Points. You're racking up these points. It's a points game. Okay. So you don't have to be singing these big songs if you're not a big song person, and you can still make it to nationals. You can still make it to the final round without having a ginormous voice or singing 5 million notes in 1 second. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessary. All right.
Correct.
I think Contralto, who won the KWC.
Amen.
A lot of people think that you have to be able to sing in the rafters to win. No, you don't. I am proof of that. No, you don't. Okay.
You do not.
I don't consider myself the run queen either. Okay. You don't need to have all of those bells and whistles to win. Okay. You can utilize what you have to do the best you can and get those points. Same thing happens for every other contest. Okay. You just got to get the points. You just got to get the points.
Well, all right, you guys. We thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying with us for so long. We love you. And please help me clap for Miriam Kim. We love her. We love her. We are so grateful she came along to give us such amazing pearls of wisdom. Y'all better listen and take some notes, okay? If y'all haven't taken notes, play this thing back when we finish getting off. But we thank you so much for watching. We love you for being supporters of both of our things. Please go visit her, and please go check out her page, Going for the Gold. She's an amazing vocal teacher, vocal coach. I'm so grateful to her for everything she's done for me, and I know she can do a lot for you. So, all right, you guys, we'll see you next time. We love you. Good night, everyone.